Happening now, Jamestown police investigate a sexual assault at Jamestown Community College. A Jamestown landlord deals with a copper wire theft.
And I'm Dakota Hunter in the First Defense Weather Center. A little cooler today. The snow is starting to taper off, but lake effect snow could be in the cards for later today, and it turns sharply colder for next week. We'll talk about it all coming up.
I'm Ryan Hedrick in the Phone Zone Sports Desk. The questions at Super Bowl 52's Media Day were just odd. That story next.
That's news now for Tuesday, January 30th, 2018.
Live and on demand from the Chautauqua Audio Works studios in downtown Jamestown. This is your source for breaking news. WNY News Now.
And thanks for joining us. I'm Justin Gould. Happy Tuesday. Stories trending right now on WNYNewsNow.com. Jamestown police are investigating a report of sexual assault at the Jamestown Community College's Hillside Residence Hall. Police say the incident happened sometime Monday morning. They're not releasing many details except that this was not a random act of violence. However, investigators report they're currently interviewing students and asking anyone with information to contact them. You can call the Jamestown Police directly at 483-7537 or their confidential tip line at 483-8477. Police say all tips are strictly confidential. And Monday night at Jamestown City Council meeting, Mayor Sam Teresi gave his yearly State of the City address. More on that in a moment. First, though, some controversy over the recent bylaw changes to the Jamestown Local Development Corporation, also known as the JLDC. The JLDC was established in the early 1980s to provide low-interest loans for projects in the city of Jamestown, all part of an effort to spur economic development. The new changes to the bylaws allow Mayor Sam Teresi to appoint members to the board of the JLDC. Jamestown City Councilman Tony Dulce says this new process is a natural one.
And so there was always kind of a pool of names that we went through. And that by changing this, it puts it in line, just like every other board and commission, where the mayor has specific groups that he has to appoint from. I guess it comes down to, and I'll say it right out, I mean, if a specific person that is not appointed by the mayor that wants to be on there, I guess they can continue to beat the drum. Again, he's the mayor, he makes the appointments. We've had multiple discussions about people and rationale, and again, as I said last week, ultimately it's his administration. And
Dulce was noting some controversy in the community over the change. Jamestown Mayor Sam Teresi says the whole point of this change is to bring power back to the city of Jamestown.
That for three entities had a power granted to somebody who legally couldn't serve on the LDC board, being granted the power to appoint somebody to the LDC board. And that's largely why that changed. Number one, it had been the past practice. Number two, as Councilman Dulce indicated, to standardize it with the appointment procedure for all of the other boards and commissions in the city. And three, to get rid of that juxtaposition that if an individual isn't legally eligible to serve on a body, they certainly shouldn't be legally eligible to appoint somebody to that body that is managing city resources.
The JLDC board's original bylaws stated that the board would be filled by the presidents of various community organizations like the Jamestown Chamber of Commerce, but now the mayor is charged with filling any vacancies. And on to the mayor's State of the City address last night, where Teresi tackled many issues the city faces, but one of his biggest points was dispelling the haters in the community.
This has existed in various virulent forms and strengths throughout my nearly 4-decade career in local public service. I'm sure that it will not shock many when I remind you that there exists a small, vocal, and persistent group right here in our fair community that unfortunately carries and spreads the message that Jamestown is the little city that couldn't These are the people that imagine conspiracies lurking around every corner and tend to oppose any new idea coming down the pike. These folks believe that no matter what we think or say or do, things are always going to be too big, too expensive, and too hard for a place like this and people like us to achieve. These individuals believe that we should simply lower our expectations, go along and merely learn to accept our limited abilities and lowly station life.
You can watch the mayor's full address on our site, WNYNewsNow.com. We got some fresh snow last night. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter standing by now with the details. Hey, Dakota.
Hey, good Tuesday, everybody. Yeah, we got a nice little coating of snow last night, and especially earlier this morning. Let's take a look at the Viper radar. And again, Viper is a higher resolution radar, so we're seeing a little bit more snow on this radar. A lot of the snow is starting to taper off. A lot of it now is actually northward up around the Buffalo Metro, going up to the Lake Ontario shoreline. Winds coming off Lake Ontario, driving lake effect off Lake Ontario. So I would not be a bit surprised if the Weather Service actually extends the winter weather advisories for the Lake Ontario shoreline because of that lake effect potential. And speaking about that winter weather advisory, here it is. The Weather Service continues it until 1 o'clock this afternoon. They may consider canceling it earlier for the southern tier counties, but right now it does remain in effect until 1 o'clock tonight. And speaking about the snow, these are the snowfall totals that came in from the National Weather Service this morning. 5 inches officially in Jamestown. I know a lot of people think that maybe there was a lot more snow than that, but that is a fresh snowfall measurement. You're not just looking at the snow banks from where it was plowed. That's a fresh measurement. So 5 inches, 4.2 in Silver Creek, also in Fredonia and Dunkirk at 2.9. So we obviously got a little bit more of the heaviest snow down in our direction. So the forecast pretty much for today, widespread snow is tapering off west to east today. But the one thing that's going to continue is up near the Lake Ontario shoreline, lake effect with the winds coming off the lake. So it will continue pretty much all the Lake Ontario shoreline communities down here. Light snowflakes off Lake Erie, not out of a question, a few pockets. Very light lake effect potato flakes could pop up off Lake Erie. 16 Valleys, 21 at the Lake Erie shoreline with that northwest wind, 7 to 12 miles per hour. We will break down this full forecast along with your Super Bowl forecast and that Quick Solutions 7-day forecast in just a couple of minutes.
All right, Dakota, looking forward to it. Thank you. A Buffalo neighborhood is mourning the loss of a playful, bright-eyed 7-year-old boy that was taken too soon. Anthony Conti died Monday morning after being rescued from his family's burning home on Benzinger Street in Buffalo's Lovejoy neighborhood. The second grader was brought to Oshai Children's Hospital, where he was later pronounced dead. Conti's father spoke to our news partner, WIVB News 4, about this devastating loss.
Hugs 100 times a day. I love yous 100 times a day. Just always loving, always loving. He was the most loving boy. My whole bed was blazed, and I just started trying to put the bed out. I tried putting blankets over it, and there was just nothing I could do. They're such awesome kids that we raised, and it's just... One of them maybe was just too good, and he wanted them.
A GoFundMe account was set up for the Conti family. A memorial grows outside of what remains of their home. Sources close to News 4 say that the father may have accidentally started that fire while using a blowtorch to light a cigarette, in turn lighting a mattress on fire. Next, the trial for a man suspected of setting multiple fires here in the city of Jamestown and in Pennsylvania is delayed yet again. Our Matt Hummel standing by with a special report. And later, the Secret Service has a new warning about an ATM scam. We'll let you know coming up.
WNY News Now is sponsored by Chautauqua Audio Works, 3335 South Roberts Road in Fredonia. More than a music store. Call 679-4333. Call now, 679-4333.
The Main Landing Restaurant. Excellent service, awesome food, and a beautiful view.
Everything's made fresh here. We love to be outside, and it's nice inside if it's raining, so we have a choice.
Locals and non-locals agree that the Main Landing is quickly becoming a destination.
It's just so casual, and just the food is amazing.
I love the hamburgers.
But I really like the tuna I had.
The Main Landing Restaurant. Excellent service, awesome food, and a beautiful view.
It's your First Defense Forecast, daily on WNY News Now. You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
The trial for a man suspected of setting multiple fires here in Jamestown and in Butler, Pennsylvania will be delayed yet again. Our Matt Hummel has been following this story from day one and continues our coverage with a special report.
Area native Jonathan Young's arson trial in Butler County, Pennsylvania has been delayed for the third time in less than a year. Young's trial was supposed to start on Monday, January 29th, but it's been delayed again after his lawyer, Joseph Smith, filed an application for continuance on January 23rd. So far throughout the case, Young has argued that there has been constitutional violations in his arrest. However, his motion was denied last month. According to documents obtained by WNY News Now, Young has yet to receive a response from a judge on a mental insanity plea. We do know, according to Young's attorney, there were plea deal negotiations in the works back in August, but so far a deal has not been reached. In May of 2017, a Butler County judge ordered a series of mental evaluations to be conducted on Young. We also know that Young's lawyer filed a notice of mental infirmity or insanity. A new trial date has not been set, but we do know jury selection is scheduled to start in April. Young faces 25 separate charges in Chautauqua County in connection with a multitude of arsons that were set in the city of Jamestown as well as the village of Faulkner. His case in Warren County for burglary and other felony charges is deemed inactive, according to documents obtained by WNY News Now. I'm Matt Hummel, reporting.
Matt, thank you. A Chautauqua County grand jury heard testimony from nearly 50 witnesses back in September of 2017. No word on when Young's trial will begin here in Chautauqua County. And a Jamestown landlord may be dishing out big bucks after he says his previous tenant stole copper wiring from one of his apartment buildings. Our Ryan Hedrick explains.
In a day and age where some Jamestown landlords are labeled slumlords, we are investigating the other side, the relationship that tenants have with landlords, in some cases, blatant thievery. Wayne Canada is the building supervisor at this Whitley Avenue property. He shows us this disgusting act, these tenants ripping copper wire out of the walls. In exchange for maybe a couple of $100, Canada says a remodel of this type is going to cost the building supervisor and the building owner maybe $20,000.
They wanted the copper wire.
Right.
So what they did is just pull these out after they disconnected them and pulled them right through the wall. Now to fix this, we're going to have to gut the whole building and rewire it.
How expensive is this?
This is probably a $20,000 or $30,000 job.
Wow. And this is commonplace in the city?
This is commonplace in the city of Jamestown. Wow. And nobody does anything to stop this. This is all wire that's been stripped. And to do this, like I said, between $20,000 and $30,000, because we got to gut the whole place.
How much money can they get for this stuff if they take it?
Not nowhere near what the damage they did. Nowhere near it. I bet they didn't get $200.
And there's no word if the tenants will be prosecuted. Canada said that the trash outside the building just cements the fact that these tenants didn't care. And Jamestown City Council voted to move forward with needed repairs to the Jamestown Police Department at their meeting Monday night. The council unanimously voted to allocate $114,000 to move the project forward. The police station suffered heavy damage last fall, causing the public entrance to close. Public Works Director Jeff Lehman says that some of the work that will be done includes repairs to the public entrance area, the command center, and squad room. Electrical repairs have already been made. New ceilings, replacing tile flooring, and changing damaged doors still need to be complete.
Now, your First Defense Forecast with Dakota Hunter.
Well, happy Tuesday, everybody. We're finally through Monday. Monday's probably always one of the hardest and stressful days of the week. Let's go to the Sky Vision Camera Network. This is the live look at Lakewood. You can see some of the sun peeking out through the clouds and that fresh snowfall that fell out there as well. The current temperature in Lakewood right now is 12 degrees with a dew point of 7, and a northwest wind of 6 creates a wind chill of 2 degrees above Zeto. But yeah, those wind chills will continue to get worse. Now, once again, I wanted to show the snowfall totals. These are the official snowfall totals that came in from the National Weather Service this morning. Jamestown officially 5 inches, Silver Creek 4.2, Fredonia also at 4.2, and Dunkirk at a little less than 3 inches there. So you can see pretty much the southern tier pretty much took a lot of this, but there's also lake effect going on up around the Lake Ontario shoreline communities, so that's going to add to the snow that they're seeing up there. Once again, the National Weather Service continues the winter weather advisory for all of western New York. This will continue until 1 o'clock this afternoon, and I would not be a bit surprised if the Weather Service extends the winter weather advisory for the Lake Ontario shoreline communities, because as you see here on Doppler vision, it's a little hard to see, but there is some lake effect coming off Lake Ontario, and this is coming in pretty much to Orleans, Niagara, and it will ultimately get into Monroe County. But wouldn't be a bit surprised if that winter weather advisory is extended for the Lake Ontario shoreline communities, but everywhere else, it's clearing out. And in fact, here's one more look at Viper. And again, Viper is a higher resolution radar, and you can see some of the snow that's falling. You can also see that lake effect coming in off Lake Ontario as well. So break down today's forecast on MetroCast. 18 degrees at 1 o'clock today. Chance for a few light pockets of lake effect snow coming off the lake. Otherwise, pretty much mostly cloudy throughout the day. At 5 o'clock today, single-digit wind chills. With the temperatures come down, the wind's a little gusty today, so wind chills will be held down into the single digits all day, so you really need to bundle up. And then as we fast forward to about 9 o'clock, the clouds hang around. Temperature doesn't drop a whole lot, but that is still cold, and the winds also will come down just a little bit as well, so it won't be as breezy. Currently out at the airport right now, 11 degrees. That is the current number at the airport. Wind chill of 5 below zero. Justin, do you value a wind chill of 5 below zero?
No, it's cold.
I did not think so. Nobody but polar bears and penguins enjoy wind chill numbers of that value. And 70%.
Our Matt Hummel.
And what?
Our Matt Hummel.
And yeah.
He likes the cold.
Our Matt Hummel enjoys wind chill numbers of that value as well. 70% humidity with a 3-degree dew point, and that wind chill is combined with that west wind of 15 miles an hour. Yikes! Very breezy out there and quite cold. Here we go with Future Scan. The model is picking up on a couple of on this band of snow. Don't really count on that, but take a look at what happens. Now, even though we clear out, do you see these streaks here coming off Lake Erie? This is lake effect clouds. So would not be a bit surprised if we see a few lake effect clouds setting up. And within these cloud bands, there is a chance that a few pockets of weak lake effect potato flakes could pop up across the area with those clouds. And then as we fast forward here, you can pretty much see we clear out for tonight going into early tomorrow, and that will pretty much remain the story. The clouds might thin out a little bit, chance for a couple of flurries off the lake again, but the lake's not really going to generate a huge response over the next couple of days. That's the good thing. Zone weather, let's break down tomorrow's forecast county by county, town by town, and the temperatures come back up. The average high is 30, and some spots will be pretty much above it. Take a look at this. We got 34s showing up here, 37 along the Lake Erie shoreline, a tad bit warmer, possible lake flurries. Take a look at the wind. South, 11 to 24, so wind chill values probably held down a little bit, and it will be a tad breezy. Eastward into Cattaraugus County, same story, mid to upper 30s. Actually, a mid to lower 30 showing up here. Warmer but breezy, and those clouds will just be stubborn all day. So we won't see much in the way of sunshine. Once again, the Super Bowl is a week away. So let's take a look at that Super Bowl forecast. And this could very well be the coldest Super Bowl in history. Take a look at these temperatures as it comes up. At 2 o'clock, 6 degrees. See sunshine, but it's not going to help too much. At 7 o'clock, 7 and 7. There you go, bada boom. And at midnight, partly cloudy skies. 1 below zero will be the air temperature at midnight. And of course, this is in Minneapolis at US Bank Stadium. Ouch! It's going to be frigid. So if you are going out to the Super Bowl, or if you have friends or family going to the Super Bowl, layers needed. It's going to be cold. And of course, the Super Bowl is between the New England Patriots and the Philadelphia Eagles. And we all know who I'm pulling for. I got myself in trouble with that yesterday. So I'm just going to step off the wall and show you the next 7 days of your life coming up on that screen. Brought to you by Quick Solutions. There's the first 3. And you can see 35 degrees is an average high for tomorrow with mostly cloudy skies. Rain and snow showers come our way for Thursday. Temperatures near 40. A few spots may actually hit 40. Wouldn't be a bit surprised if we see that. And take a look at that. We go 15 on Friday, and the temperatures go back down into the teens. And Ooh boy, single-digit lows come our way for the weekend and early next week. Youch!
Alrighty, Dakota. It's cold.
Yes, it is.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Coming up next in sports, the weird questions asked by reporters, all part of Super Bowl Media Day, and Eric Woods retires. Stay with us.
First Defense Weather is sponsored by Quick Solutions of Jamestown. Count on Quick Solutions for printing, copying, mass mailings, and so much more. Part of your team. Learn more at QuickSolutionsUSA.com. That's QuickSolutionsUSA.com. Like great food, great news needs experts. Become a community reporter when you see breaking news or have a news tip we should know about. Drop us a line on Facebook today. Speaking of great food, Jeremy's Bellevue offers pasta, classic burgers, seafood, and of course, wings. Visit Jeremy's Bellevue on Facebook.
The team that puts coverage first. We have some breaking news. Police confirming now that Steve Stevens was found dead in Erie, Pennsylvania.
His house is on fire and it's dangerously close to the Appleyard Terrace.
Fire crews battling another blaze.
Needs to be treated as the terrorist act that it is.
He got the ball, he just went to the hoop and he shot it.
And as for the star of the show, Tucker Pierce.
I feel good. Proceeds from the Battle of the Classes going to the Alex Folk Foundation.
50 years of service and dedication to anything is very impressive. Put your lives on the line for your neighbors.
It's just something that I think people should do. You have to give back to the community.
WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now. WNY Sports Now is powered by Phone Zone of Jamestown. With the largest inventory around, we buy and sell our own merchandise at a price that can't be beat. Have a broken screen? We'll fix it. Learn more at phonezoneshop.com.
From the Phone Zone Sports Desk, I'm Ryan Hedrick. Here's a look at what's trending in Western New York this afternoon. Super Bowl 52 Media Day. It's now a massive primetime event that took place on Monday night, and the questions were weird.
Who's Aaron Rodgers dating Danica Patrick? I saw that. Can you name any of the characters on Game of Thrones? You got to find someone who's more into pop culture.
But this is separate. This came right from Tom.
Yeah, we just covered it.
We asked if tickling works, and he said he tried it.
Yeah.
Ball's in your court. Do you want me to tickle you?
Yeah, no, we'll skip that. All right.
You're not ticklish?
This is an adult show.
Buffalo Bills center Eric Wood talked about his retirement from football on Monday. He said the press conference that he held Monday was planned a couple of weeks ago, but there was a leak in the media, and the information got out before it was supposed to.
In week 5, I got the first stinger of my life, and I got one the following week. After that game, we did an x-ray on my neck that showed no significant damage. After the season, as part of the exit physical, we got an MRI that revealed a disc that was dangerously close to my spinal cord at C2, C3, and that was alarming.
Transitioning to baseball, starting in 2019, Major League Baseball's Cleveland Indians will no longer feature the Chief Wahoo logo on its uniforms. The Native American caricature has long been condemned by critics as being offensive and racist. In a statement, Major League Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred said both he and the team agreed that the logo is no longer appropriate for on-field use. The team has used Chief Wahoo as a logo in some form for decades. In the NBA, the LA Clippers traded Blake Griffin to the Pistons. Reports say the Clippers will receive 3 players and 2 draft picks. Griffin, a high-flying basketball player, has been a fixture on the LA Clippers for years and a huge part of their turnaround. High school basketball in Chautauqua County, and there are many, many, many games. Salamanca, Gowanda, North Collins, Forestville, Franklinville, Ellicottville, Southwestern, and Olean, Sherman, Westfield, Dunkirk, and Faulkner. just to name a few. From the Phones on Sports Desk, I'm Ryan Hedrick. It all unfolds right here.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvanna Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktop and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
Catch your First Defense forecast daily on WNY News Now. Like great food, great news needs experts. Become a community reporter when you see breaking news or have a news tip we should know about. Drop us a line on Facebook today. Speaking of great food, Jeremy's Bellevue offers pasta, classic burgers, seafood, and of course, wings. Visit Jeremy's Bellevue on Facebook. You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
Mr. Speaker, the President of the United States.
President Donald Trump is set to deliver his first State of the Union address tonight before a joint session of Congress. The speech, according to Trump, will cover a variety of topics, including immigration and trade. He's also expected to tout the strong economy, tax cuts, and ISIS on the run. Some of the president's time in the spotlight, however, might be taken away by the sight of empty seats. Several lawmakers have opted not to attend. Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg will not be taking part in Trump's first State of the Union either. She's attending another event in Rhode Island. And banks in the U.S. are being warned about a new hacking scheme. It's called jackpotting, and it involves stealing money from ATMs. Authorities say robbers are using malware or hacking tools to get control of cash machines. Once that's done, the money dispenses the cash inside very quickly, as if the robber has won a jackpot. Secret Service officials say standalone machines like the ones in retailers and pharmacies are especially vulnerable. Jackpotting has been reported in Asia and Europe, but it's a relatively new threat here in the U.S. At least a new evidence in one of San Francisco's most notorious escape stories, the escape from Alcatraz. A letter allegedly written by one of the escapees has recently come to light. The FBI now has reopened the recent cold case after a letter was sent to law enforcement in San Francisco. They said the men used a homemade drill made from a broken vacuum cleaner motor to widen vents. They crawled through it and eventually escaped on a homemade raft. The men would be around 90 years old today. Pretty amazing story, Dakota, that they have a new letter now kind of depicting, I know we didn't have that sound cut, but depicting their life and how they've lived pretty normally after that.
I actually don't even remember a lot of the stuff about Alcatraz. I mean, I graduated high school during the Civil War, so I don't remember a lot of stuff from high school anymore, sadly.
You do know a lot about the weather, though.
Yeah, actually,
we only have like 10 seconds, so.
Oh. Well, okay. Yeah, let's throw up the 7-day, and
Little heavy.
All I'm pretty much going to say on the 7-day is cold for today, little warm up for the middle of the week, then cold for next week. I'll be quiet.
All righty, Dakota, thank you so much. That's it for us today. Be sure to join us right back here tomorrow. Have a great day.
Have a good one.